Have you ever used Neville Goddard's revision technique to revise a memory and found that you feel better while you're imagining the new memory, but then, like a few hours or days later, the old feeling just comes back again? So, today we're going to share with you exactly why that is, what's happening in your brain as you're repeating a new memory, and most importantly, we'll give you a few very quick and easy tips for making repetition, well, very quick and easy and effective.
So, Odile, would you lead us off here by jumping into what's actually going on in the brain regarding revising memories?
Yes, and this is what makes using Neville Goddard's work now so exciting because now we have the neuroscience behind what he was teaching way back then. So the reason it's so important to repeat the new memory until it feels natural is because every time we think of the old memory, the new memory, any thoughts at all, that's physical connections between neurons in the neocortex of your brain. So nerve cells in your brain, that's physical connections. So when you have a thought, when you think of a new memory, connections between neurons, and when you have the same thought or repeat that same memory over and over, those connections between neurons become established. And in neuroscience, it's called wired. They become wired. So you've heard of rewire your brain. It's changed those connections and established the new ones. So there's a foundational principle in neuroscience called Hebb's rule, and the Hebb's rule is nerve cells that fire together wire together. So over and over, they become established.
Absolutely. So, for me, Hebb's rule is easily explained by thinking about the learning the multiplication tables.
Yes.
That practicing it over and over and over again, so that when I think of 9 times 7, boom, I know exactly what the answer is. I don't have to
Glad
work
you do.
through that.
Glad you. 9 times 7 is not one. I would say 2 times 2 is four. That's how I know 2 times 7, but I haven't fired those neural connections for 9 times 7 enough. I have to work that out.
Yeah, and I know in talking with my kids now, kind of looking at how other generations are learning those math skills. I know that I learned multiplication tables just by rote memory, the flashcards over and over and over, and firing and firing and
Right.
firing that memory over and over again. Another example that I like to use is thinking about memorizing a phone number.
So what's happening physically in the brain every time you repeat the times table or the new phone number, that's neurons connecting, and eventually those connections become what they call wired. The same happens with a new memory. So when you change a memory, imagining it differently to begin with, the positive memory isn't enough because those connections haven't been physically wired in your brain yet. The other thing is that we need to add the emotion. So, Neville talks about that as well. So make sure that you've got strong, good emotions attached to that new memory.
Could we just spend a moment talking? Why is that even important? Why is,
Yeah,
adding the emotional piece important to this process? I don't need,
absolutely.
I don't need to have an emotional feeling in order to learn a new telephone number.
Right. Or the times table. So
Absolutely.
the reason we need emotions for the new memory, but we don't need it for like a phone number or a times
Mm,
table, is because the original memory, the negative memory, had negative emotions. So
mm.
presumably your old phone number doesn't have any emotions attached to it. So you don't need to replace those negative emotions with positive emotions. But for a memory that is negative, so a memory of something that happened that you wish had happened differently. So, you received a bill in the mail or somebody said something mean or you got a triggering email. The reason we need to change the emotion specifically is because as those neurons connect in the old memory, they trigger matching stress chemicals that cause the negative emotions. So we need to change those as well. So when you create the new memory, you attach good feelings, the positive feelings, the happiness, the relief, the excitement, whatever's there, attached to the new memory so that when
Mhm.
those neurons connect, they're triggering the feel-good chemicals like endorphin, serotonin, and oxytocin. And then you repeat the new memory with those elevated feelings, and that's what establishes the new memory as the new default for your brain.
Adil, I'm aware that some people may be tuning into us for the first time, or they may have not seen earlier videos, but um, and I know that we're not going to go into that in this video right now. But how would one go about actually changing the emotion in an old memory?
Yeah, I'm going to put a link to a video that'll take you through that. It'll be a link in the description. So so watch that for a step by step, and I'll mention that again in a minute as well. So I want to do the tips now because we promised
Okay.
tips in the beginning. So the tips for making the repetition of these new of the new memory easy and quick to do. Number one, it's important to know that you don't need the full scene with all the dialogue. So it can be a moment in time. And so, for example, you can create the full scene if it feels good, but you can then distill it down to one moment in time with perhaps one phrase, throw in a smell and some music if you like. So whatever other senses you can bring in just makes it helps to make it stronger. And so one moment in time with the elevated emotion, that makes it quicker and easier to repeat it, to establish it. And it's more effective that way. So an example is a memory that I changed from my childhood was getting into trouble in school for not doing homework, and I was sent to the headmaster's office, and I was terrified. So I changed that memory to where I was being sent to the headmaster's office for a prize. I'd won a prize or an award. And so the moment I sort of played the scene out, the new memory, and then I grabbed that moment in time of being in the headmaster's office and being handed the prize and going, thank you, with that, and the headmaster giving me a high five. So just that one moment in time with that elevated feeling made it much easier to practice and establish it. The second tip I want to give you is put little reminder notes, and I mean physical notes, like little post-it notes or little pieces of paper with a reminder. And the reminder could just be a heart. You don't have to write out the memory, you know what it is. And then put them around your house or your office or your car. But here's the big tip: keep moving them, because the brain gets used to, if you've ever tried that, put a message on your mirror or on your fridge to remind you of something, eventually you don't see it anymore because the brain excludes it because it's used to it. So when you see so put it on your toothpaste, for example. So when you go to brush your teeth, you practice your little memory first with the emotions, and then move it to, the toilet paper, the toilet roll, whatever, onto your towel in the shower. Um, whatever it is, do not move it from the toilet, obviously, to the coffee or anything like that. But have a few. You can also hide it in a pocket or in your shoe so that your brain keeps discovering it fresh, and which means you'll keep noticing it, and then do the little, you see it doesn't take long, it's only a few seconds. So you do it while you're waiting for the coffee or the kettle to boil or whatever, every time you go to the bathroom. And so that helps you to keep remembering, because one of the trickiest things about this is remembering to repeat the thing, to practice the thing.
Absolutely. And if you tend to be a little bit more somatic, or physical reminders help. And I think that I kind of tend to be that way. I'm not somebody that outside of a wedding ring, I don't usually wear much by way of jewelry, but I did find, finding an interesting or an unusual bracelet or something like that is a way for me to physically, it's like, oh, I have this thing on. Why do I have this thing on? And, so it prompts that. When I'm working with clients, actually, a couple of my clients have decided that putting a reminder into their phone that beeps on the hour, so that helps them get into that. Another thing that I would just throw in there is think about those things that are already part of your regular pattern of the day. If you've got a little bit of a meditation or an exercise practice in the morning, or you go for a walk, or you walk the dog, all of those kind of things can be moments where it's your brain is making that link to, okay, let me practice, let me practice, let me practice.
Absolutely. So hopefully that helps. Of course, let us know your questions. And for 3 simple steps to revise a memory effectively, watch this video next. And I guess it's going to be either here or here. And I'll put the links in the description as well.